Welcome back to Camelot Fabrics. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make one crossbody bag using 3 different weights of FuseEase stabilizer. So let's get started. So you may or may not know that the stabilizer called FuseEase comes in 3 weights from Camelot, and I do really love this product. There's the lightweight, there's the medium weight, and then finally the heavyweight. You would add these stabilizers into your project to add stability, strength, and some rigidity in some cases to the pieces. In this bag we're going to use all 3 weights. We're going to use the lightweight in our straps, which once you see, I'm going to fold over and over so there'll be 4 layers of fabric. So because of that, it needs a little stability, but not a ton. So we're going to use the lightweight FuseEase there. For the main part of the bag, we're going to use the medium weight FuseEase, and we're going to put it on the wrong side of the outer bag to add some strength to it, because we're going to be adding pockets to the front of the bag, and we're going to add pockets on the inside of the bag. So on the lining, I'm not going to add any stabilizer, but for this pocket, this is the interior pocket that we're going to then fold and put inside the bag. We're going to use the medium weight as well, because this pocket doesn't need a ton of stiffness to it. It just needs a little bit of body and weight added to it. Then finally, for the heavyweight FuseEase stabilizer, we're going to have 2, let me pull these out of the way, and there's our stabilizer pieces. We're going to have 2 scalloped pockets that go on the front of the bag, so you could quickly throw your phone in there and small items. And so you're going to be in and out of these pockets quite a bit, plus they're going to add some weight and stability to the bag. So for these 2 pockets, we're going to use 1 piece of FuseEase Heavy to do that job for us. So you will also need a zipper that is at least 10 inches long. I think this might be a 14-inch zipper. Yeah, this one's a 14-inch. It just needs to be at least 10 inches long, because we are going to do a zipper pouch as the main part of the bag. So we're going to set that aside for now. So to make our bag, the first thing we're going to do is for our outer pockets is we're going to press the FuseEase on the wrong side of 1 piece of the pocket. And then we're going to place the other outer piece on there, and we're going to stitch around the pocket, leaving an opening for turning to make the smaller pocket. We're going to repeat that same process with the back pocket. And I know these pockets don't make sense right now, but once we get to the bag assembly, you will see how it goes. So there's the back pocket. So again, we're going to stitch all the way around, leaving an opening for turning. So we've got those 2 ready. Then for the inside pocket, we're going to press the FuseEase medium on here. And then once we do that, we're going to fold this in half, right sides together. And once again, we're going to stitch here to here, leave an opening, and then stitch from here to here. And we'll turn this right side out, and this will be our interior pocket. For the lining, this bag is going to be long and skinny, so these are our lining pieces. So we're going to stitch down the side across, again leaving an opening at the bottom, and then go back up. So you can see these, I'm just going to do all these together because it's the same step over and over. And then for the outer bag, this one, again, we're going to use the FuseEase medium. We're going to press it to the wrong side of both pieces. And if you ever wonder, the bumpy side is the side that goes down. The smooth side is the side with no fuse dots on it. So we're going to press those together. We'll put those right sides together. And this one we're going to stitch down. Oops. This one we'll stitch down all the way across the bottom and stitch up. There's no reason to leave an opening on this piece. So those will be the pockets and bags. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch those, and I'll be right back. So the quilting fairies were with me because I said I was going to put a zipper in. So if I had sewn the bag bodies the way I said I wouldn't be able to put the zipper in. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to walk you through those steps. In the meantime, I've gone ahead and I've sewn the pockets. So these 2 are the outer and this is the inner. And I left an opening for turning. And I do like to clip the bulk away from the corners. You just want to make sure you are not going through your seam. And then on these curvy ones, we're going to need to clip the curves. So I'm not only going to clip the corners and any loose threads here, that's just me. We're going to go ahead and clip these curves, and we're clipping up to, but very carefully not through our sewn curve. So when I turn it right side out, this will make it lay nice and flat. Okay, and then the same on this guy. This one is such a gentle curve, probably don't need to clip it, but better safe than sorry. Once you turn it right side out, it's kind of a pain to turn it back inside out. So we're just gonna take the extra added insurance and clip this curve. All right, so these pockets are ready to turn right side out, and I like to use a chopstick or this funky little dowel tool I got. It's basically, it looks like somebody took a dowel and sharpened it. And then it has a little rubber edge that you can use to get rid of hairs from ripping seams, which I never do. Haha. All right, so we're gonna turn this right side out, and then I use this. I like it because it has a blunt end and it doesn't poke through my corner. And there we go. We're just gonna pop this out. Now, when I go to sew this to the lining, I will press this in. Let me move this out of the way. So we need to center the inner pocket onto one half of the lining, and we're going to stitch around, and that will close this bottom. I'll press this first to make sure it's lined up, and then we'll have the pocket, and I'm going to center it this way and this way. And an easy way to do that is to fold this into quarters and then do the same for the pocket, and then you can just line up your cross lines. You don't have to iron it, it's just a temporary. And now I know if I line this up with the fold and that up with the fold, not only do I know I have it straight, but I have it center. So then we'll go top stitch this guy down. Now with the Sew Fuse Heavy, you can see just how nice that is going to hold the shape of the pocket, and because we clipped the curve, you can see how nicely that laid down as well. And this, again, we're going to go over when I press that one under. We'll turn in the seam allowance 1/4 inch, and we're going to press it. We will top stitch just along the curve. Don't go all the way down. And you can again see how by having that stabilizer in there, as I turn this right side out, how it just holds its shape so nicely. And there's our curve again. So we're going to go ahead, we'll press these under. Then what we need to do is decide how we want to put these on the front of the bag. I had originally thought of it this way, but it might be really fun to do it this way, to which we need to add, just sew this on here first before we add it to the bag. But we'll be right back to go over that. All right, so we have our pocket units done. We have the big pocket unit, then we have the little pocket unit. We have our lining with its pocket put in there, and there's our other lining piece. Now we have our outer bag with the medium weight FuseEase pressed onto the back. So now that we have all these pieces together, we need to make our straps, and then we'll be able to assemble. So for a crossbody bag, you want a pretty long strap. So I've cut 2 strips that are 3 inches wide. And then I cut, this is 40 inches long. This is like 20 inches long. So I cut 4 strips of FuseEase Light to go inside the straps. These are cut 3/4 of an inch. And so how the straps go together is I'm going to take these over to the ironing board, and the first thing we do is we fold them in half lengthwise. I'll just finger press this for you. Then we take the one raw edge up to the fold and press. And we take the other raw edge to the fold and press. And then you fold it one more time to give yourself a finished strap and press again. Once we've done the folds, then we're going to take one piece of this, fuse dots down, and we're going to run it through one of the interior ones so that when this gets closed up, it's sealed inside, and then we top stitch down each side. So I'm going to go ahead and press these, put the interfacing in, and top stitch them, and then we'll have our straps for our crossbody bag. I did forget to mention that we do need to sew these end to end to make one long strip. So, and I like to sew those on a diagonal. So we do the right angle, we go from the inner corner to the outer corner, and then this will flip out and give us a diagonal seam. So I have to do that before we press and put the interfacing in, just so you know that's what you do with both strips. Here's our strap all finished with the FuseEase stabilizer on the inside. It is much longer than what we need, but again, for a crossbody, I want to make sure that I can measure it against my own body and figure that out. So we're going to have this ready for assembly. So we have our pocket units done. So this one is sewn onto the center of the lining. So these are our lining pieces. These are the outer pieces with the FuseEase medium on it. And then here are the two front pockets. Now to stitch the two front pockets for the big guy, all you need to do is sew across the curve, clip your curve. You can see here where I clipped it. And then flip this back over, and then I top stitched along the curve. This part will all get caught in the seam, so we can leave all three sides open. For the shorter pocket, you would put them right sides together, sew across the curve and down the short side of the pocket, turn it right side out and press it, and then just top stitch along the curve. This again will get caught in the seam. So now what we're going to do to assemble our bag is we're going to take one piece of the outer bag. We're going to position the pocket on the front. And originally the idea was that this one would go here, but we could do it here and create like this double scallop, which I kind of like, or we can do it this way. Again, it's the double scallop, it's just right or left. So I don't think it really matters, but I think I might like it like this. Oops, whoops, oops. Like that, like that. That makes more sense. I really kind of like that. I'm not sure why, but I do. So the first thing we have to do is we need to attach the little pocket just to the outer pocket. So with using the back of the bag as my guide, I'm going to go ahead and clip just the two pocket pieces together. And so what this will do is I'm going to finish that top stitch right down that edge. That's all we're going to do. And what that'll do is create this little pocket right here. Alright, so now that I've top stitched the little pocket onto the big pocket, we're going to position that on one half of the outer bag. We are just going to clip the two sections together. And then I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine and use an 1/8 inch seam allowance to attach the pocket to the one half of the outer bag. Then we're going to be ready to put our zipper into the bag. So now you can see the pockets are attached to the front of the bag. You have your narrow pocket here and your wide pocket there. So now we're ready to put our zipper in and add our strap. So before we start assembling, we need to cut the strap to length. So you just put it around your body the way you're going to wear it, whether it's crossbody or just a shoulder bag. Measure and trim off the excess strap. And now this long guy is big enough to go, I'm going to use it as a crossbody, so it will be perfect for that. So to add the zipper in, first things first is you're going to take the zipper and you're going to put it right side up, and you're going to take the lining, make sure that the pocket is open, and we're going to glue this here first. And I like to use Elmer's washout glue to hold the zipper in place before I sew it in. It just holds everything where I want it. It just washes out if I get it on anything, so it works perfect for that. So we're just going to glue that guy in there. We've glued the zipper onto the lining, and then we're going to take the back of the outer bag and we're going to lay that on top and glue that in place. We'll then take a zipper foot and sew through the layers. So now that that's sewn in place, we can press these two guys wrong sides together, and we can top stitch on that side. So there we go, there's the first half of the zipper. So now we need to add the other two pieces to the side of the zipper. So what you do is you lay down your lining again, and you're going to use your glue along the top edge of the lining, and then you're going to place that on top of the zipper. You want to make sure that everything is lined up on the back. That's why I like to use the glue, because you can easily remove and reposition. And you can always reapply glue if you need to. So there's the first half. Then we're going to flip this guy over and again add glue here. And we're going to put this piece right sides down. Again, lining everything up. Just like that. And then again, use the zipper foot to sew the two pieces together. And there we go. So if you've done everything correctly, you should have your two outer pieces with the zipper up and your two lining pieces on the back side of the zipper. So once I've double checked that, now again, I've already top stitched on this side. I need to line these two parts up and top stitch on this side. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to be ready to do the last bit. Now you can see your zipper is longer than you need it to be. I have an old rotary cutter that I use to only cut paper and zippers. I don't use it to cut fabric. So I'm just going to go ahead and line this up and cut off this end of the zipper. And then turn this around. And before I do this, we need to make sure we pull the head of the zipper into where the bag is, so that when I cut it off, I don't cut the zipper head off. All right, now that you have your zipper trimmed up, you want to make sure you have that opened because you're going to use it to turn the bag right side out. And I like to put a clip just to kind of hold that end of the zipper together for myself. And then we're going to need to position the handle onto the bag. So this is going to go right here, and you just clip it to the top layer of the bag. And then you want to make sure it's not twisted, which is harder with a longer strap. And you're going to clip it to the other side. And again, just clip through the top layer, because the next step, first we're going to take all this excess strap, and you can use a rubber band or a clip to hold it out of your way. But conveniently, we have a little pocket right here, so I'm going to shove it all in that pocket, making sure I have enough play to keep it in position. And it'll just keep it out of my seam allowance. So that's another handy use of that. Now what we need to do is we need to put the two right sides together and then flip it over so that the two lining sides go together. And we're going to clip all the way around to hold your layers together. Then we're going to take this sewing machine, we're going to start right about here, we're going to sew to the corner, up, all the way across, down, into the corner. We're going to leave an opening here because we need to turn the bag right side out through the opening and through the zipper. So again, this is the last chance to make sure that zipper head is moved out of the way and you have an opening there to be able to turn the bag right side out. So I'm going to go ahead and get this clipped and sewn, and I will be back to show you how to turn it right side out. Alright, so we have sewn all the way around, leaving an opening at the bottom. So the next step is to turn the bag right side out. Just double check on both sides that you caught everything in your seam before you turn it right side out. It's just a little insurance to make sure you've got it the way you want. Now you carefully just put your hand through both the lining and the zipper. Grab the bottom of the outer bag and very gently, looks like a wad of mess, but it's not. Just gently turn everything right side out through the two openings. So there goes the lining out opening. So we're through that one. And now we need to pull the outer bag through the zipper opening. And there's my strap coming out of its pocket. Again, you could just rubber band it or wonder clip it. Now I'm sticking my hand all the way into the bottom of the bag and popping out the corners. You could also use like a chopstick or a dowel to help you get those sharp corners on the bag, but you want to make sure that you're pushing all that bulk out. There's quite a bit of bulk there because you've got the two layers of the pocket and the stabilizer and the lining, and so you want to be careful. You want to use a blunt end tool to do this so you don't pop right through the bottom of the pocket, the bottom of the bag. That's why I really like this one with a blunty tip. So there's the outer bag. There's the straps. Now we need to first address the opening in the bottom of the lining. And I know this looks wrong, but it's not. Trust me. We're just gonna poke out those corners. We're going to press the 1/4 inch seam allowance in and top stitch the opening in the lining. Then when we push the lining into the outer bag, everything will line up and it will look like a finished bag. So let me just go top stitch, press and top stitch that. So we've top stitched the opening closed. Now we can figure out what this whole thing is going on. So this big pocket should be against the bag and my little pocket needs to go to the front. So we need to turn this part right side out. And again, use the dowel to pop everything out. And if you're confident in how you layered it to start with, even though it looks funny, it just means things aren't all turned to the right side. So there is that. Now, the strap out of the way. Now the lining with its pocket can go into the bag. And then you start to see the zipper come out. Okay, and then we can unzip this as far as we need to get our hand in there. And you just push the lining down. Again, use the dowel if you can, or a chopstick, and get everything nice and flat on the inside. And there we go. We have a crossbody bag. Now I'll go over and give it a good press, but there's my handle. And I've got my little pocket and my big pocket, and then when you open it up, you've got your inner pocket that you in there, and you have just the whole inside of the bag. So it's a nice little crossbody bag that you can use at shows and festivals or anywhere you don't need a big purse. And I'm going to pop out this corner as well, and this corner. So this is a very quick and easy tutorial on how to use all 3 of the FuseEase stabilizer weights. As you can see, we wanted the handle to have some body, but there's already 4 layers of fabric thickness, so we just used the light FuseEase in here. And then for the body of the bag, we used the medium because we knew we were going to get the rigidity for the bag from the 2 pockets, where I used the heavyweight in there. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I love the FuseEase light stabilizer, especially for bags and small projects that I'm going to sew in the studio. It is a workhorse. Having all 3 weights is lovely because I can decide how much body and strength I want to give to my piece. Make sure to check out our blogs and our other links and videos on all of the stabilizers, but I also did a couple other projects with the FuseEase you could check out as well. Please leave me a comment below. Let me know if you've enjoyed this tutorial and this series in general, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks!